This is News Talk.
And you're very welcome along to Thursday Nights Off the Ball. Richie McCormack here with you in studio for the next 3 hours, and a packed 3 hours on the way we have for you. Alan Brogan, the Dublin legend, will join us in studio to partially look ahead, I guess, to the All-Ireland football final on Sunday week, but also to look back on his own career in blue. And as mentioned by Peter Caffrey a couple of weeks ago on this very show, the fact that he nearly stepped away from the Dublin panel just before being named Footballer of the Year. That's to come after 8 o'clock. Breach Stack is going to join us as well to look ahead to that historic weekend, that double bill of All-Ireland Ladies Football semi-finals at Croke Park. The football show after 9, of course. Dan McDonnell will be with us for the duration of that. We'll keep an eye on all things Europa League 2 because there are several sides in action, be it from the UK and indeed from Northern Ireland. Linfield in action against Carabag tonight in the Europa League playoff round. And as well, John Giles up after 7:30 to look at that penalty fiasco at Molineux involving Paul Pogba and Marcus Rashford on Monday night, and loads more besides. 53106 if you want to get in contact tonight. You can tweet us as well at Off the Ball. Dan, as mentioned, from the Irish Independent, joins us in studio, as does Will O'Callaghan as well. I'm just trying to say to annoy you as well, Will, sorry.
Yeah.
Grand. Thanks for coming in.
Richie.
As I mentioned, Brogan was in earlier on. We'll play that chat just after 8 o'clock. Alan is a goal ambassador, and he's given us a pair of tickets for the All-Ireland football final to give away. How's about that on tonight's show? So if you're watching us live and on our social channels right now, you can see the piece of art. We'll throw it up on the screen there now, as done by Mark Baker. That's at the centre of this auction tonight that we're running. Basically, you can win this signed piece, which is signed by everybody involved in it, which involves Brian Cullen, as you can see there on screen, the Brogan brothers, Bernard and Alan. Barney Rock is on there, Jimmy Keaveney, Kieran Kilkenny. It's a magnificent piece, a real one-off, and as I say, signed by the players involved. And we're giving that away in tonight's show, along with a pair of All-Ireland football final tickets to our eventual highest bidder, our current highest bidder, with a bid of 300. Thank you for that sound effect right there.
I assume we'll be getting that throughout tonight, if possible.
So, for a second, I thought it sounds like it being shot by a laser. And to be honest with you, I probably had it coming. The current highest bid, thank you, Paul, is €350, and it belongs to Richard Gregan. But you have the chance to do better than that. Win that signed and unique piece of artwork, which was done by Mark Baker and Alan Brogan. And as well, you can win yourself All-Ireland football final tickets. And moreover, do a bit of good. You can look after the good people at Goal and all the work that they do. Goalglobal.org if you want to check out more of the work that they look after. Text Goal, your name and your bid to 53106 for 30 cents. That's Goal, your name and your bid to 53106 for 30 cents. I think for the good people of Goal, we can do better than €350 tonight, with all due respect to Mr. Gregan, who's done that so far. So that's all on the way tonight. A busy and packed show en route. I mentioned it to Alan, and it got the shrug that I anticipated it would do when I mentioned to him that, you know, we shared the same secondary school back in the day. The Brogan brothers basically sandwiched me in school in terms of Alan,
bullying.
No, Alan was the year ahead. I actually had very little interaction with him, weirdly enough, if at all. Alan was the year ahead, and I think Bernard was the year beneath me. So we had a bunch of footballers come through in around the same time.
What school was that, sorry?
Declan's in Cabra.
Oh, okay.
So the Brogan brothers came through there, all three of them, let's not forget. And also Declan Lally was in my year as well, so he would have played football too. So, you know, a decent chunk of people have come in via that school. We had some famous names. Barry Ward, the actor, came through there. Declan Buckley, aka Shirley Temple Bar.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Donned the doors of Decos in Cabra. So we'd had a relatively famous school. I was wondering, you know, was there anybody had come through the hall at the same time you were there, Will, in your particular school?
Mundy was ahead of me in school.
Mundy?
Yeah.
There we go. That's a cultural touch point right there. Everyone
Yeah,
knows
I think
Mundy. That's actually trumped everything I've done here. Well,
yeah, he was finishing just as I kind of started secondary school. He brought out his album, and he kind of had the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack at that time, so things were just kind of on an upward trajectory for him. So he just finished school. Aside from that, you're probably looking at like Offaly hurlers and stuff, who are obviously far less glamorous than Mundy, but
Offaly hurlers are Offaly hurlers as well. It's intercounty.
Yeah, I think like our
year it was though, I suppose, wasn't it?
Yeah, like it was that kind of era as well. Like particularly before I started school, it would have been kind of the 1986 All-Ireland winning school team. It went on to basically be the 94 and 98 teams that won the All-Ireland senior titles. They would have finished school a bit before me. So.
Well, no.
They're the main people who went through. Stephen Grant played under 21 for Ireland against Sweden.
Yeah.
Now he's trying to become a professional golfer.
Stephen Grant is a really, like, he's Complete all-rounder, yeah. Sort of in his complete. I don't know. Did he play golf when he was younger, or was he someone he came to it late in the day? Actually, I think
late enough. Yeah, it was pretty much when he
it wasn't
finished
like playing when he was in school or anything.
No, not to any kind of level. No.
Yeah. God.
Dan?
No, struggling. Quite a few people in the sporting world, like it would have been like allowed inter-county players and stuff like that. I think Mairead McGuinness is who's obviously involved in
Politics,
political discussions right now. I think would probably be top of the list. I would have
Ray
thought
McGuinness,
RD,
Dan McDonnell.
No, we weren't exactly spoiled for choice in terms of like Mundy sort of style.
Who is?
You know,
I mean, we started way too high there with Mundy.
Put the bar at a dangerous level.
Are you kind of known as a well-known past pupil with your school in RD?
I don't know really, to be honest. I was down back one year to do like a prize giving thing at the end of the year.
You treated like a celeb.
You give a speech and you try to give inspiring words about your time as a student there.
Yeah.
So that's like the hallowed invitation back to the old RD community school. So yeah, I feel like, like the likes of Ross Gaynor, who was League of Ireland player.
Absolutely, yeah.
He was over at Millwall when he was a kid, and I'm thinking like Darren Clark, who was very good loud inter-county footballer, was a year below me, and a few people like that.
We had a bunch of exposed people, obviously, in our school. I'm just looking here. The Declan's Wikipedia page is alive with sporting alumni. Shane Supple, former post goalkeeper. Paul Keegan, now at Bray. He would have been looking at his date of birth the year below me. Richie Partridge was a couple of years ahead of me in school.
Yeah.
Went off to Liverpool.
Partridge is probably. Well, he's around 1980, 1981. He was born in, say, was he?
80. Owen Heary's another one. Harry Kenny, the past manager, he went through there too. No mention to me.
No.
Which is kind of like.
Where is that? Is that actually on the
Wikipedia? Yeah, it's like sports
Richie,
people.
you know, you
edit it yourself.
Richie, by the end of tonight, you could actually have addressed that.
Have you ever edited a Wikipedia page?
No.
I did one because I took issue with it back in the day, and I was like, "That's it."
Was it about you?
No, it was Andoni Zubizarreta's Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Go on, what was so offensive?
It was like they basically mentioned that he was possibly the end line is possibly most known for his howler against Nigeria at France '98. I said no.
Harsh.
Andoni Zubizarreta has done way more in his club and international career than one spill of a ball from Victor Ikpeba against Nigeria in Nantes in 1998. So I changed it.
You sorted it out.
That's my only edit I've ever done on Wikipedia.
Did it get re-edited afterwards?
I don't think so. It might have done. I'm going to have to have a check.
Have a look.
You have to actually sort it out. I'm always deeply suspicious of people in the media who have their own Wikipedia page, though.
I don't have a Wikipedia page.
Chances are that they've definitely done it themselves.
And how do they do the subdivisions of like categories in there too?
Articles and references and stuff. Because I did speak to someone recently who was trying to update one of the League of Ireland club pages, but it's actually really complicated. It's a tricky process. You have to reference sources, and they're just people who basically monitor it the whole day and decide, no, this person isn't important enough. That's it. So that player can get in, but this one here, no. We need 12 supporting articles or something like that to go with it. So it's actually a complicated enough business.
Will O'Callaghan wiki. No, he's not
sincerely hope I don't have one.
Trying Dan McDonnell wiki. Probably not, to be honest with you.
I would have thought it's unlikely.
Dan McDonnell is an American baseball coach who has been.
Oh yeah, he's a big deal. That guy. Yeah.
He's also an American male volleyball player. He was part of the United States male volleyball team.
Does he have a Wikipedia page?
The volleyball one? Yes, he does. He was born in 1988 on September 15th. He has fair hair, just like yourself, Dan. Handsome dude.
Baseball coach. I got the odd social media comment directed at the baseball coach by accident.
He went to the University of California in Irvine and currently plays for Gdansk.
Oh.
We'll start the news round.
Well, look, the rugby team was named today ahead of Ireland's match against England. It's the second of the World Cup warm-up games, and Joe Schmidt, the Ireland head coach, says it makes sense to give game time to both Ross Byrne and Jack Carthy in that game at Twickenham. Leinster half Byrne will be starting for his country for the very first time. It's only his third cap as well, as he looks to press a claim late on to make the squad for the tournament in Japan. Johnny Sexton is again rested entirely, Connacht's Jack Carthy among the replacements, and Schmidt says it makes sense to manage Sexton's minutes while Byrne has been impressing at the training camp in Portugal.
He's trained really well, and it's not his debut. He's had time with us before, so that we've got a lot of confidence in him anyway. And I think he built his way through the season. I thought he was maybe not as impressive as Jack early in the season, and I think those two have become really important to us. Joey's done well this week. Johnny's he's fine. But he missed a bit of time with his thumb, so he's a little bit behind, and we know how well he plays fresh. We don't feel like he needs a lot of time with the experience that he's got. So for us, the guys that need the time are probably Ross and Jack, and they've got the opportunity to do that this weekend. That they'll share a bit of time, I'd say, in the middle.
Well, what's the chances that Joe's checking Twitter today, Will?
Probably low enough. Go on. Is this about his microwaving of the fish?
Not his microwaving of the fish. Not Joe Malloy.
You mean Joe Schmidt?
Joe Schmidt, the person we've just been hearing from.
Was that Joe Malloy we were listening for last minute?
That's a cracking accent, Joe.
I'd be shocked if Joe Schmidt wasn't checking Twitter or having someone check Twitter on his behalf.
I think he'd keep an eye on everything, surely. I don't know enough about him, but I hear enough to suggest they would monitor most things.
Yeah, the 3 words "does a bear" kind of might be rankling with Joe Schmidt this evening if he has somebody monitoring Twitter.com. Because we put out a piece just over a week ago, last Friday it was when Brian had just gone around Nogaro around. And the question was posed to both: have Ireland missed a trick by not considering Simon Zebo for this World Cup? Simon has elected to reply in his own manner, which says, "Does a bear... ...
Oh.
So, I don't know.
Any other bear-related sayings we're aware of?
Somebody has replied I saw earlier on with a picture of a polar bear saying this gentleman would care to disagree with you. So, which is a valid point, let's be honest. But there you go, Simon Zebo on Twitter this evening. Speaking of getting in contact and all that, we've had loads of bids in so far. We mentioned 350 quid was our starting bid. Something slightly shot-like about it scaring me for that piece of artwork from Mark Baker and featuring a host of Dublin legends, with all proceeds going to goal, and moreover a pair of All-Ireland final tickets thrown into the bid as well. We've had a bid in from Des Murphy, 400 quid. Bad luck, Des. Your bid has been beaten by Stephen Gallagher, who came in with 450. This is going to grate by the time we hit the out time for this.
Yes, it is.
And then Stephen Gallagher was usurped pretty much instantly by one Stephen Lynch. Stephen's doing well here and got a lot of cash to flash. 500 is what Stephen Lynch bid, but our current highest bidder is Safeco First Aid Training, who have come in with €600. If you want to get in contact tonight, text goal, your name and your bid.
I hope that's a company owned by like one person. That everyone's on board with this. Or someone's after hearing this now going, what?
And end of month accounts are going to be interesting.
Recording that sound and sending it down the phone.
I have a receipt here for a bid you made for a piece of artwork. Text goal, your name and your bid to 53106 for 30 cents. That prize, that artwork, as done by Mark Baker and featuring those Dublin legends, the money will go to goal, and also a pair of All-Ireland final tickets could be heading your way, as well as that piece of artwork.
Well, we're talking about Ross Byrne being picked, and the former Ireland winger Tommy Bowe was on OTBAM this morning. He says Byrne showed what he can do under pressure, particularly in Leinster's Pro 14 semi-final win against Munster towards the end of last season.
Not, but I think that we have 2 very capable out-halves in behind Joey. I think Ross Byrne in particular is a fantastic player, very much in the mould of Johnny Sexton. You know, he got asked to lead to play 10 for Leinster against Munster in the semi-final of the Pro 14 this year, which I thought was, a lot of people were talking that it was Johnny Sexton was dropped, but according to Leo, it was to give him a chance and to give him an opportunity. He won the game for Leinster that day and played very, very well. You saw him in the Ulster quarter-final last year when he had to kick that penalty at the end of the game to put Leinster in front. So I think in pressure situations, he is well able to step up. He's well able to lead a team around the pitch. And I think with Jack Carty, you know, he showed in the Six Nations when he had chances to come on, he can spice things up a little bit. He's a little bit more of a maverick. Whether that is really what we need, if we have Joey Carberry, who in a sense is somebody who can spark something out of nothing, as a third choice, I probably would think that Ross Byrne might be somebody who would be a little bit more attuned to the game plan Ireland will want to play. But if Joey doesn't make it, I think we have 2 good out-halves who can step in.
Tommy Bowe there speaking on OTBAM. That's our sports breakfast show every weekday morning from 7:30. You'll find it on offtheball.com, YouTube, Twitter and Facebook. You can start your day with Off the Ball and check out our social channels for the full broadcast details. The rest of the Ireland team: Conor Murray selected as scrum half, Bundy Aki and Gary Ringrose are in midfield. Rob Kearney, Jordan Larmour and Jacob Stockdale are the back 3. Rory Best captains the team from hooker. Cian Healy and Tyg Furlong are the props. Ian Henderson with John Klein in the second row. Peter O'Mahony, CJ Stander and Josh van der Fleer are in the back row. The England captain Owen Farrell, he returns to link up with George Ford. They haven't featured together on an England team since their defeat to South Africa in June of last year. And head coach Eddie Jones saying it's an ideal opportunity to pair them there as well. The former England player James Haskell has signed a deal to fight in Bellator as well. The 34-year-old is expected to make his debut as a heavyweight next year. He's been training for 7 years.
Kind of puts Mr. Grant in a halfpenny place, doesn't it? Transitioning from soccer to golf, and we have James Haskell transferring from rugby to the world of MMA.
Well, I don't know, it depends. Golf is a battle of the mind.
He's saying MMA isn't.
Well, no, it is. But I'm just saying that, like, Grant probably puts himself through a form of mental torture, which can probably be as taxing as physical torture, surely. Grant's been on that tour circuit trying to get his card. I've seen him talk about it before. It's still very. I mean, it's not all just about manly hits on the body, Richie.
Golf isn't.
No, like sport. You know, you're just saying you just have this one-dimensional view of sport that unless it's physical pain involved, he's not a real man.
Pretty much, Dan. I'm very
disappointed with you, Richie.
A very binary view of masculinity, as people might know.
I didn't. Wouldn't quite be your calling card, would it?
I don't know. Maybe it is now.
Maybe this is actually
never too late to change that.
This is how you really feel. Let's go full Holloway now and see what you've got.
I'm tired of people getting involved. I'm tired of the EU getting involved in James Haskell's career. If he wants to switch to the world of Bellator, by God, he can do it.
Yeah.
Let's get him out there and get out of Brexit.
We have a venue for the Pro 14 final next year as well. It's going to be very late in the season due to the World Cup. Saturday, June the 20th, the 33,000-seater Cardiff City Stadium, which is home to the Sky Bet Championship football team. It's the first time in 10 years that decider will be played in the Welsh capital.
Right, you're in the Euros then, aren't it? Yeah, June the 20th. Right, you're in the middle of the Euros.
That's going to do.
Because Cardiff was the one city, I think, one of the few cities that missed out on the Euros. This is like their consolation. You know, you've got Pro 14. You didn't get you're not one of the 12 cities, but you've got the Pro 14.
They look delighted with it. Sam Warburton in the press photos seemed like a happy chap.
It'll bring tourists to the town.
Absolutely will. Texts in to 53106. Keep your bids coming, by the way, for that artwork in the All Ireland final tickets. I imagine Richie would be welcome back to his old school like Partridge, a national radio figure and renowned for his voice work. I would also be dishing out ties and blazer badge sets. So, there is that too. We also had somebody from Cork saying they had Cillian Murphy and Ronan O'Gara in the same year in Cork.
That's impressive.
That is.
I hope they did a yearbook of some kind.
You put that in your LinkedIn, like. If I was in the same class as Ronan O'Gara and Cillian Murphy, goddammit.
Definitely a yearbook.
Did Will go to school in Burr Community College? What year did he graduate? I'm a past pupil graduate from 1996. I don't remember, Will.
Nah, it was a bit later than that. I finished in 2004.
So there you go.
St. Brand's Community School, though, yeah.
Thank you for that. Stephen Grant was a fantastic golfer when he was young. I was in school with him, says Colin. Thank you for that, Colin. Lads, my schools were filled with talented people. Rebecca Quinn, a.k.a. Becky Lynch. Diane Caldwell, Irish soccer player, and Alan McCrabb, Dublin hurler. Max Rance McDonald, social media influencer. Not sure that's a job. Even you two were in the school and all. That's obviously the one on Malahide Road. I can never remember the name of Mount Temple. Thank you.
It's a real Dublin thing if you can know the name of other schools just like that.
You were saying this before. It wasn't a thing in the country.
Not at all. It's just like the school. You know what I mean? Like,
where'd you go to? School.
The school. Like you go to school it depends on the size of the town. But like in Dublin, it's a real like people just reading off names. Like I go to UCD and you just hear people just naming off sort of Christian names in the form of schools. You went there, Declan's, this one, that one, whatever. Actually, UCD was just all Black Rock. But either way,
was there somebody who said before? It's like they were out in the club. I don't know if this was you or somebody else in the show. It's like they were out some night and they were talking to somebody and they were like, "Oh, where did you go?" And like, went to the Jacks. No,
I didn't encounter that, but like, I mean, it is a good thing that if it comes up sometime, you're like, but actually, like, I'm 36 years of age. I think where I went to school is probably not that relevant at this stage in life, you know.
Yeah. Our Roy Keane and Gary Neville Premier League Roadshow, in case you didn't know, is completely sold out. A surprise to absolutely nobody. It's happening at the Borgosh Energy Theatre on September the 4th in association with Cadbury. The only way to be there on the night is to win the last few tickets we have managed to snaffle for ourselves. For your chance to win a pair of tickets, identify our mystery voice who recently attended the Gaiety Theatre for the latest Riverdance tour and was none too impressed by the non-traditional nature of the choreography.
I mean, this is not Irish dancing.
One more time.
I mean, this is not Irish dancing.
If you think you know who that is, rather topical as they are, text your name and your answer to 53106 for 30 cents. We'll announce the winner later in the show, and it is our Roy Keane and Gary Neville Premier League Roadshow with thanks to Cadbury, happening September 4th at the Borgosh Energy Theatre. Next couple of stories, Will.
Well, Derek McGrath has ruled himself out of the running, Richie, to succeed Pádraig Fanning as the Waterford hurling manager. The former Daisha boss has confirmed in his column in the Irish Examiner, which will be printed tomorrow, that he momentarily thought about the position but says he won't be applying this time around.
Europa League as well, finally.
Europa League, yeah. Rangers just kicked off in their game away to Legia Warsaw. Wolves are in Italy to face Torino later. Celtic, they host the Swedish side AIK, having been knocked out of the Champions League last week. And Linfield, they take on Karabag in Belfast.
Yeah, lots to come on the show tonight. As I mentioned, Alan Brogan joins us after 8 o'clock. We are auctioning off this fantastic piece of artwork, which was done by Mark Baker, and will also come with not only the signatures of those present on the artwork, but also a pair of All-Ireland final tickets. If you want to bid on it, get texting GOAL plus your name and your bid to 53106. All proceeds of the winning bid will go to GOAL and the fantastic work that they do, more of which you can read about on goalglobal.org. Alan Brogan's up after 8. We're going to Breach Stack as well, previewing those historic All-Ireland football semi-finals at Croke Park. The football show with Dan, who's sticking around after 9 o'clock as well. And up next, the one and only John Giles.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Tired of guessing when it's going to rain so you can put your clothes out on the line? Take out the guesswork and buy the Bosch 8kg condenser tumble dryer from Harvey Norman. Thanks to its super quick 40-minute program, it guarantees fast drying, so you can wear your clothes immediately after drying. Get this condenser dryer at a great price of just $369 and save €210. So stop guessing about the weather with quick dry tumble dryers from Harvey Norman. And don't forget, at Harvey Norman, we'll match all competitors' prices on home appliances.
Go!